This week's Four Questions Journalist Spotlight is brought to you by Leff's Atlanta Media, Atlanta's best journalist database. Subscribe at leffsatlantamedia.com.
Welcome to another edition of our Four Questions Journalist Spotlight. We've got two great journalists from the Appen newspapers today. We've got Shemaine Cruz and Jake Druckman, and we're going to get to know them a little bit. But first, I want to kind of give a quick overview about what the Appen papers are all about. You probably don't see Appen on the masthead, but you do see Alpharetta, Roswell Herald, Forsyth Herald, Johns Creek Herald, Milton Herald, Dominie Crier. So that's how you're seeing all those papers, but they're all part of the Appen media group. So you kind of have that geographic area if you're thinking in terms of focus. So wow, I did that in like 12 seconds. Carl will be so happy. Welcome to both of you. Thank you for taking a few minutes today to join us. Let's start with Shemaine. If you want to give me a little bit of a background about kind of what your role is there at the papers and how that works, and kind of where you come from and how long you've been there and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yes, well, I'm a general news reporter here at Appen Media, mainly covering local government. And I got started after graduating from Appalachian State University in 2018. I got my bachelor's in journalism. After that, I spent 3 years at the Northeast Georgian in Habersham County. And there I mainly covered education, public safety, and local government as well. And then in 2020, I moved on to the Gwinnett Daily Post. And during that time, I also freelanced for a little bit. And my main beat there was as a crime and courts reporter. And then at the end of July, beginning of August is when I started with Appen Media. And I've been here ever since and really enjoyed my time here.
Excellent. And Jake, a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I just started here. I joined after I graduated at the University of Georgia this past December, so just a few weeks ago, really. When I was there, I was news editor at the Red and Black newspaper, which is an independent newspaper that serves UGA and Athens. And there I did a whole lot of work with local government. And another thing I did a lot was crime reporting. I was a criminal justice minor, journalism major, so both things I enjoyed a lot. But here at Appen, I am also a general reporter. I'm covering specifically Alpharetta and Forsyth County, and I'm doing a lot of government work as well.
And Shemaine, do you cover? So you're Alpharetta, Forsyth, Jake. Shemaine, do you have a specific city focus? Or you kind of bring all of them?
Right. I mainly work for write for the Alpharetta Roswell Herald and the Milton Herald.
Okay. All right. That's great. That helps folks kind of understand, that if they want to call you about a story in Johns Creek, you're not the right person. And I think I've somewhere have some information about who the right people are for some of those other papers. So I'll refer back to my notes on that. So either of you, how is Appen different from the Business Chronicle or the Journal-Constitution or other newspapers around the city?
Yeah, well, for me, I would say that it really has to do with the people that I work with. I feel like I'm given the creative freedom here to really dive into my reporting, and that's really allowed me to grow as a journalist and focus on the type of work that I'm passionate about. On top of that, I really like that the company invests in us as journalists. We were just talking the other day about taking a course on filing like open records requests. And so we're not only putting out work, but they're reinvesting in us too. And that's something that I really value in this company.
And Jake, was there anything in particular that drew you to the papers other than the job offer?
Other than the job offer, yeah. So, I haven't been around very long, but one thing I've noticed about Appen is we really dive into the nitty gritty of things. Whereas, if you see an article specifically about Forsyth County from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, it's going to be pretty big surface level stuff. We kind of go deeper into that, cover more kind of niche things that really do affect the people who live there, but isn't something that would really be talked about outside of that. I've already covered several county meetings there. The other day I covered the Parks and Recreation Board meeting, and there were in the audience there were 3 people, including myself.
Right.
So not something a lot of people are paying attention to, but for someone who wants those details on that, this is the place where you can get it. You can't really go anywhere else and get it.
They won't complain about it until someone's shutting down their local park, and then they're like, "Hey, wait a minute, how come I didn't know this was happening?" Well, if you'd gone to the county meeting, you would have known this was happening, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, those meetings tend to go on for a while, don't they?
So far it hasn't been that
not too
bad. They're kind of starting, it's the beginning of the year, so they're kind of just getting started for the year. So far it hasn't been too bad.
Shemaine, how about you? Are they crazy late? Do you find yourself going into the wee hours of the next morning sometimes?
Yeah, that's something that I wasn't used to when I first started working in this area. Some meetings go up to 5, 8. There was another meeting that lasted 8 hours. I think one of my coworkers covered that the other day. Yeah, they tend to be pretty long.
Do you ever think, there really needs to be someone who's kind of managing this meeting a little bit better to say, okay, I think we've talked about that for an hour. Let's move on to the next subject. But maybe sometimes they want to give everybody their chance to speak on the city councils. And then, of course, you get into if residents want to get up and speak,
right.
There's requirements for that and whatnot, right?
Right. Yeah.
I guess probably people are a little more reluctant to go to the meetings now because of the pandemic and whatnot. Do you find that most of the cities that you work with, are they streaming their meetings?
Yeah, both of the cities that I've covered so far do stream their meetings, but a lot of people show up to them anyway. I've been pleasantly surprised by how active the community is with the city council and what's going on in their communities.
Well, that's great. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I'm in DeKalb County, and it's a little challenging to get to the meetings because they always schedule them at like 5:00 on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So, and where I am, it'll take me like an hour to get there and park. So, if somebody has a good idea or what they think is a good idea for a story for either of you, what do you like? How do you like? What's the best way for them to get you that information?
For me, emailing would probably be best. You can reach me at jake@appenmedia.com.
Okay. And Shemaine, I think your email format is the same. Email good for you too?
Yes, email, and I'm also really active on Twitter, so they can always reach out to me there as well.
Okay.
I get a lot of phone calls, and I don't always answer them, so definitely I would prefer email.
Okay. Are there certain topics that either of you are looking for, kind of on your radar? Say, here's a topic I want to be covering in the next month or 2 or 3?
For me, it's just kind of anything involving local government. So I don't know, maybe, you hear that your local government is considering that something that would, really impact the community. Maybe it's something you don't like. Maybe it's something you do like. Pretty much anything that would kind of fall under that category, you can reach out to me for.
Are there any major issues up in that part of town that you're really focused on, or either development or government issues that you think are people don't know enough about, or that you're really following?
Nothing at the moment. Like I said, this is my first week, so I haven't really been able to kind of hone in on kind of the longer term issues. I'm still kind of, a lot of stuff has been like immediate things that have happened at the meetings that I've kind of been looking at, but still working on getting myself familiarized with kind of the longer term things. Right.
Shemaine, is there a story that kind of has resonated with you that you've thought, man, this was really a good story, and I was really proud of the work I was able to do covering this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I cover a lot of local government meetings like we've discussed, and I feel like a good balance is anytime that I get to cover a feel-good story, like some kind of feature, and highlight a resident or something going on in the community like that. And some topics that I'm personally interested in covering here in the future are how the pandemic is affecting like student learning. that's something I haven't been able to get in touch with, like a teacher or a student. I'm also interested in how local police departments are revising their policies to deal with like use of force and things like that. That's something that's talked about a lot nationally.
Right.
And then I'm also interested in the different roles that Hispanics are playing in the North Atlanta, North Fulton area, because it's a growing population, and I think that we could do a lot with that.
Yeah, I've done a lot of work with a couple of clients with Latino companies, and there's some great companies. I was talking to a woman a couple of months ago who had, I think she gotten laid off from her job in 2020, and she started a company making cakes and desserts because her family said, you love doing this, you're so good at it, why don't you make this a business? So she just kind of started doing it, and it really took off. I'm trying to think where she was. I think she might have been either North Fulton or Gwinnett. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, lots of great stories from the Latino community. And I like to kind of find those stories throughout the year. Sometimes folks are like, oh, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, let's just tell the story now. But if it's a good story, it's a good story whenever it is, right? All right, so now this is the more challenging question. So what is something cool or fun about you that people might not know? And like I said, it could be a hobby or a talent, juggling fire, whatever you like to do. And Jake, I'm going to make you go first.
Yeah, I guess the thing that comes to mind is I was part of a local improv group in Duluth. I live not far from Alpharetta in Duluth. We haven't been able to do anything since COVID started, so it's been a couple of years now. But I don't know, that's something I really enjoy doing. Have a lot of fun with it. And also the theater that we had shows in shut down because of COVID. So I guess even after, we're going to have to figure something else out.
Oh, it's not able to come back at this point?
No, it's like permanently closed.
Okay. Shemaine, how about you?
Personally, I've tried a little bit of everything. The past 2 years, I've tried to learn how to play tennis and how to play the piano, but I just can't get the hang of it. But I found that the one thing that I go back to over and over, like throughout the years, is running, and I really enjoy running. Right now, I'm actually training like for a half marathon, and I don't have like a specific race in mind or anything. I'm just doing it for fun.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Well, I have a friend who does a lot of Ironman stuff, so maybe I can get you some ideas. All right. So last book you've read or the last podcast you've listened to, I'll give you the option either way. Okay, Jake, I'll let you go first.
Last book I read all the way through was for my last criminal justice class, and that was about juvenile delinquency and stuff. But I'm not going to count that one. The last personal book, fun one? the last book that I just read on my own and finished was the last book in the Witcher series. I'm really into fantasy novels and stuff, so I read the entire Witcher series and started in preparation for before the show came out. I'm about halfway through The Hobbit right now.
So. Have you read The Lord of the Rings yet?
No, I'm reading The Hobbit and then The Lord of the Rings.
All right. Okay. Give yourself some time for that one. That's an awesome book. Shemaine, how about you?
I listen to a lot of podcasts. The last one I listened to was NPR's Fresh Air, and the episode was called Inside the Global Supply Chain. And I thought that was really relevant, so it was a good episode.
All right. I've been reading the Expanse novels from what the TV show is based on, so they've been pretty good. All right. So favorite local restaurant, Jake, what you got?
Here in Alpharetta, Shemaine, what was that place that Carl took us to on Monday?
Yeah. It's actually in Milton. It's called the Old Blind Dog.
Well,
Old Blind Dog. Okay. All right. Shemaine, how about you? You can't use the same one.
I was going to say the same one. I really like the Smoke Jack Barbecue in Alpharetta. That was the place that we went to when I first started. It was really good. I love barbecue.
All right. Favorite guilty pleasure?
Krispy Kreme. Easy.
All right.
For me, my Dunkin' Donuts have to have it every day.
All right. Local getaway.
When you say local, what does local mean? What does local entail?
I would say kind of local within, an hour or two drive, or hour two or three drive. How about that?
Okay, I'm a big outdoors person, especially during this time of year because I hate the heat. So a lot of times, me and my friends will go hiking. Maybe Kennesaw Mountain or Blood Mountain or something like that.
All right.
Yeah, me too. I love going to Tallulah Gorge. I go there all the time, but a little bit more locally, I really enjoy going to the Roswell Mill as well.
Okay. I don't think I've been to that one. All right. Favorite non-work hobby?
I play in my free time. When I get free time, I play a lot of video games.
All right. What's your game?
Right now, I'm replaying Skyrim for the 100th time, maybe. I just finished a replay of Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right. Okay, Shemaine?
Right now, I am really trying to catch up on classics and old movies and shows and things like that. Just a few weeks ago, I finally watched Batman for the first time. So I'm just watching Netflix whenever I have time.
So is that the original Batman with Michael Keaton?
Yes.
Is that the first? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That trilogy went downhill after that first one, but the first one was really good.
I like the first one, yeah.
The Arnold Schwarzenegger one, that's not as much. All right. Let's see. So, is there anything about the papers? I know it's you guys. In addition to the print, obviously you got online. Do you guys do any podcasts in addition to the print or text versions of the papers?
No, I haven't since I've been here.
Okay. I know the paper does there's a couple of different podcasts, but I don't know if you guys were involved with any of those yet. Okay.
Me neither, no.
Cool. Well, just for those of you who are interested, if you go to appenmedia.com, click on the podcast tab, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's five or six different podcasts that Appen offers, so you can check that out. Politics and Cadillac Jack has one too. So there's a couple of good ones here. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate both of you spending a little time with us today. We've had Shemaine Cruz and Jake Druckman from the Appen Papers. Thanks very much. And everybody tune in next week for another edition of our 4 Questions Journalist Spotlight.